Could one of these Steelers signings save the season? Big Deke News. So Steelers are making some tweaks to their roster 2 weeks into the 2025 season. Nothing major because these guys that have been added are only on the practice squad right now. But I think a couple of them could be called up sooner rather than later if we don't get our shit together. So 3 signings took place. First, inside linebacker Ja'Whaun Bentley.
Who?
Wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins.
Who?
And lastly, tight end Matt Sokol.
Who?
We're not too concerned about Matt. He has been a journeyman practice squad guy, bouncing around from team to team on their practice squad since 2019. So no expectations there. The other 2, though. Well, first with Bentley, I may have outed myself there by dropping the Snoop meme after his name, considering he's been with the Patriots since like 2019 and has been their starting linebacker for like 4 or 5 seasons in the post-Brady era. And the Steelers have played the Patriots in that time span, I don't know how many times, at least 2 times, I think, at least 2 times. And I'm dropping the Snoop Who meme. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. Here's why I don't feel bad about it. Is because none of you guys knew who this guy was either until we just signed him. Let's just be real. Like 90 to 95% of you that are watching this video had no clue who Ja'Whaun Bentley was, because if you did, you would have been dropping his name in the comments over the last couple weeks as a guy for us to pick up because of all of our run defense struggles and what our front 7 was doing. So how about that? And then with Hodgins, I guess we got our receiver. We got our outside guy that we've been looking for here. Now we don't have to trade for Tyreek Hill. We got Isaiah Hodgins. Nah, but seriously, this ain't a bad move for just throwing him on the practice squad, because his one season in 8 games for the Giants, he had like 300-something yards and a few touchdowns. But he's struggled to stick with the team, carve out a role, has been bouncing around. He's got size. You know, he could be a perimeter threat for you, big body receiver. It seems like he could find openings in zones, decent in, with slants, short hands. So, like, there's positives to his game. But if we're relying on him at some point this season, I think we're in trouble. I think we missed the plot in how we should be structuring our offense, for sure. We definitely missed out on some sort of trade. Khan was asleep at the wheel and we couldn't get another wide receiver 2 in here. Or the Aaron Rodgers, Arthur Smith experiment with figuring out this offense and how to utilize the pieces has failed. I think if Isaiah Hodgins is out there a significant amount of time and we're relying on him. If he gets called up, he gets called up for depth. Maybe we're dealing with an injury, but I'm not expecting more from him in this offense than someone like Van Jefferson or Allen Robinson or a Miles Boykin, the receivers of that mold in the recent past. But I want to get back to this Bentley pickup, because after looking into it more, I said to myself, this is the one of the 3 signings here that I really think could pay dividends for the Steelers at some point this season, where he's having impact and we're really thanking ourselves for picking him up. Because going back to Bentley's career, he's been legitimately a 4 or 5 year starter for the Patriots at inside linebacker and showed leadership, was named captain multiple times, also productive, multi-100 tackle seasons, also is able to get you turnovers, can rush the quarterback, has gotten sacks. And what have we been complaining about with this Steelers defense through 2 weeks? What have we been complaining about this Steelers defense for not only these 2 weeks, but dating back to even last year? We got a lot we can complain about, and we have been complaining about. But one of the catalyst things, or the number one things when you talk about a Steelers team, is you could at least hang your hat on that they're going to be able to stop the run. You can complain about our secondary. You could complain about a lot of different stuff, but traditionally, historically, a Steelers defense is not giving up 100-yard rushers. The Steelers defense is stout in the run game. But we saw these first 2 weeks, it's been bad. Been really bad. And even though we have a Patrick Queen, we've invested in the inside linebacker position. We have a Patrick Queen. We have a Peyton Wilson. Cole Holcomb obviously is back from injury. We signed him a few years back, but, haven't seen him on the field for about a year and a half. We've invested in the position, but results are results. I mean, Patrick Queen's fast. Peyton Wilson's fast. They're talented. Patrick Queen's got some Pro Bowls to his name. But matter of fact, against the Jets and the Seahawks, our front seven has got out physical, and it just hasn't been the defensive line. The defensive line hasn't been helping Queen and Wilson, no doubt about it. But I don't know, man. There's some cause for concern about Queen and Wilson, man in the middle for the course of this season and their ability to stop the run. I saw a fullback take both of them out in one block. They've been getting pushed around a little bit. I think Patrick Queen had a better game week 2 than week 1, but there's still concerns about the physicality and them being able to stop the run, right? I mean, just flat out. We've had a guy on this team over the course of, the last 2 or 3 years, that at least that was their claim to fame. We could rely on that with them, and that was Landon Roberts. He's gone. We signed Malik Harrison to at least do that for this team, to have that niche, to have that role. He's on IR. We don't know when he's coming back. Cole Holcomb, I think a solution could be getting him more snaps, and I mentioned that in yesterday's video. But maybe there's concerns over his, I don't want to say health, but just knocking off the rust and where he's at in his game right now. How much will it take for him to get fully up to speed and get somewhat back to where he was in 2023? So signing Bentley, bro, it's definitely some insurance for that inside linebacker room, and that's his claim to fame. Run-stopping, thumper, physical linebacker. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a bold take. This is a really bold take. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this season, bare minimum, we're rocking a 4 inside linebacker rotation with Bentley, Holcomb. I guess you got to see where Malik Harrison's at, but he could also play edge for you. Malik Harrison's one of those guys, you could just put him out on the field, off ball, you can put him on the edge. He's a Swiss Army knife piece for the defense. But that 4 rotation of Bentley, Holcomb, Queen, and Wilson, but I'll go as far as to say maybe Holcomb and Bentley start taking over the majority snaps and are the main guys. Because I think if it hasn't happened already, Steelers are going to hit a breaking point and say to themselves, no matter what, we're stopping the run. We're not messing around with this shit anymore. That is, the one thing a Steelers defense, that has to be at least the number one priority with Steelers defenses, right? Stop the run. We are not getting out physical. It is not looking like how it's been these first 2 weeks of the 2025 season and how the end of last season was with us giving up 300 yards on the ground against the Ravens and Derrick Henry. No more. No more. All right, we can give up something in the passing game, but we're not allowing another team to impose their will on us and control the clock and just control the game by running the ball. So we'll see. I mean, this is on Patrick Queen. This is on Peyton Wilson. This is on – part of it is on the front seven with the defensive line. But if it doesn't get better, don't be surprised if we make some changes because, as I said yesterday, what's the opposite if it ain't broke, don't fix it? If it's broke, fix it. Do some sort of change. You got to try to mix something up and not do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So we'll see if Cole Holcomb gets any time this week, and we'll see if Bentley finds himself inserted in the lineup in some point over the next couple weeks. We got that bye after the Vikings game to recalibrate and assess everything that's taking place. And because Bentley, you never know. You might be calling upon him to help get things right in this run defense at some point. And that's the low-risk, high-reward nature of this signing. Can't go wrong with it. Vet minimum deal. He's chilling on your practice squad. But maybe playing significant snaps for you at some point this season. Now, would the season be too far gone at that point if you're calling up Bentley to replace Queen or Wilson? Potentially, but I don't know. I'm getting the vibes with this type of pickup that maybe we're going to be a little bit more proactive with getting guys out of the game that are unproductive and are not getting the job done than in the past. Hopefully at least. And then if you have questions about Bentley as to why he was just chilling out there, well, there was the regime change with the Patriots and Mike Vrabel going from Mayo to Vrabel. And one of the things with some of his roster cuts was just cutting ties with the old regime and trying to have a fresh start. But also, Bentley was coming off of a pec injury that had him sit out after, I think it was week 2. He only played 2 games. He sit out the whole season in 2024. So injury plus Mike Vrabel bringing in some of his guys. He signed like Spillane, brought a couple other guys in, tried to get more athletic, more fast on defense. Again, that's not necessarily Bentley's claim to fame, but he's a guy that the Steelers could use right now because Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, those are athletic guys. We could use a run-stopping thumper, and, Bentley, that's his calling card. Other moves that took place, or other move that took place at least, DeMarvin Leal we called up to the 53-man roster, which makes a ton of sense. We cut him initially after preseason, and then he came back to the practice squad. But with us losing Alex Highsmith to injury, and Isaiah Loudermilk was just put on injury reserve, DeMarvin Leal is a smart person to call up because he can play edge. He can give you snaps there, and he can also give you snaps on the defensive line. So no surprise with DeMarvin Leal getting called up in the status of some of the guys on the front 7 and where they're at with health. Last thing, in terms of injury report, Wednesday's injury report for the Steelers. Patriots, it looks like they're relatively healthy. And if anything, they're going to get one of their best guys on defense back this week. Potentially, Christian Gonzalez. This is his first time practicing since back in the preseason with the hamstring injury. So he's limited. May not give it a go this week. They may give it more time, but a step in the right direction for him. Steelers, though, it's as expected coming off of what Tomlin was saying in his Tuesday press conference. Patrick Queen, full participant with the oblique injury. Darius Slay, veteran rest. Joey Porter Jr., hamstring, did not practice. Deshaun Elliott did not practice. Alex Highsmith, DNP. Max Sharping,
Who?
limited. TJ Watt, vet rest. And Derek Harmon, knee limited. So, yeah, this goes hand in hand with what Tomlin was saying. Like Joey Porter Jr. with the hamstring, trending in the right direction, but don't get your hopes up. Deshaun Elliott, also trending in the right direction, but probably not this week. Remember when the report first came out with him, he was looking like he was going to be available for week 4 at the earliest. Highsmith, we didn't put him on IR, so that's good. Tomlin did say Loudermilk's injury was worse than Highsmith, so not on IR. Maybe he could come back within the next 3-4 weeks. And then Harmon, trending in the right direction, but because of him being a rookie, it's unlikely that he's going to play this week. If we want to give him his first snaps in a regular season game, I think Tomlin wants to make sure he's 100%, not like 95, not 90%, where he's got to think about potentially re-injuring himself. He's going to wait till he's at that 100% mark. And that's a bummer because remember when Harmon first got injured and they were saying it might only be for like 3 weeks. We could see him week 2. His timeline for coming back has extended out for more than what was initially expected. At this point, with the bye being after the Ireland game, we probably won't see him till week 5 would be my guess. But that's it for today's show. Let me know your thoughts on the topics discussed, the new signings, the injury report, DeMarvin Leal getting called up. Yeah, drop your takes in the comments. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay chilling. Peace.